be opening a Ikoria Lair of Behemoths collector booster box. And I would be lying if I told you I wasn't a little bit nervous about this. I just double checked that I am actually recording both audio and video. So, let's get started. I think, well, you know more better than I do at this point in time, but I think I'm going to split this video into multiple parts, since the pre-release packs are taking me about an hour to get through, and I think an hour is about as long as I want to spend on a video. So I'll do the first part in kind of a soft-spoken way, and the second I will whisper. That's the plastic that it came wrapped in. Maybe I'll save up the wrappers and I'll do kind of a crinkly video. So let's read the box because there were some interesting words on it. The King of Monsters has arrived. That's right, Godzilla has crashed ashore in the world of magic. Each 15-card collector booster contains one card with alternate art portraying Godzilla or a different Toho monster. At least 6 special alternate frame cards, 3 to 6 rares or mythics, and at least 9 premium foils. Score unique cards for your collection and take part in a crossover of earth-shaking proportions. Nice that they give you a little pre-crease. Wow. It's such a small box. That's it. Okay. I think we'll do the left side first. What do you think? I'll set these off to the side. I don't think I'm gonna do this again. I just got very excited at the idea of Godzilla cards because I grew up watching Godzilla a lot. All this is kind of interesting. I need to stop beating around the bush and start cracking some packs. That's why you're here, isn't it? Alright. So, first booster. No turning back now. Oh, that's a really nice looking token. So, is this gonna be like... I'll start this way, and if it turns out that the rare is basically on top, then I'll start the other way, just like I did for the M19 or M21 pre-release. Anyway, so we got a cat bird, a 1/1 cat bird creature token with flying. Dranith Stinger, 1 and a red for a 2/2 human wizard creature with whenever you cycle another card, Dranith Stinger deals 1 damage to each opponent, and it's cycling 1. Pay 1, discard this card, draw a card. The first line of defense and the last person you want to anger. Memory Leak, 2 and a black sorcery. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from that player's graveyard or hand and exile it. Cycling 1. Pay 1. Discard this card. Draw a card. By halves does youth depart. I remember halves of names, halves of years, halves of myself. This is Okaro, Wandering Sage. Heightened Reflexes. Costs a single red. It's an instant. Target creature gets +1, +0 until end of turn. Put a first strike counter on it. Some crystals glow in the presence of monsters, forming a convenient warning system. Some monsters have learned to outrun the light. Bloodfell Caves. Land. Bloodfell Caves enters the battlefield tapped. When Bloodfell Caves enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. Tap to add a black or a red. Migration Path. 3 and a green sorcery. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Cycling 2. Pay 2, discard this card. Draw a card. Reconnaissance Mission. 2 and 2 blue. Enchantment. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. Cycling 2. Pay 2, discard this card. Draw a card. The Bonders work with creatures that fly, slink, and burrow. Assume they know everything, says Jirina Kudrow. We got a Plains. That's kind of nice looking. And another Born Altar. Costs 1 and a black. It's an artifact. Tap to put a soul counter on Netherborn Altar. Put your commander into your hand from the command zone. Then you lose 3 life for each soul counter on Netherborn Altar. It is spoken of only in whispers, visited only by the desperate. Slitherwisp costs a blue and 2 black for a 3/2 elemental nightmare creature with flash. Whenever you cast another spell that has flash, you draw a card and each opponent loses 1 life. Ruinous Ultimatum costs 2 red, 2 white, 2 black. Sorcery. Destroy all non-land permanents your opponents control. I think this is the 3rd one I've gotten. Lore Dracus. 1 a blue and a red for a 2/3 lizard beast creature with mutate for 2 blue-red hybrids. Whenever this creature mutates, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Cloud Piercer costs 4 and a red for a 5/4 dinosaur creature with mutate for 3 and a red. It has reach, and whenever this creature mutates, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Sea Dasher Octopus, 1 and 2 blue for a 2/2 octopus creature with mutate for 1 and a blue. It has flash, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. I'm guessing this last card is the Godzilla card. My cat was so excited about this reveal that he came in the room and meowed very loudly. And hopefully I cut it out, because it was very loud. Destroya. Perfect life form. Costs 2 and 2 red. Also known as Everquill Phoenix. It's a Phoenix 4/4 Phoenix creature with mutate for 3 and a red. It has flying, and whenever this creature mutates, create a red artifact token named Feather with pay 1, sacrifice Feather, return target Phoenix card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. And Migratory Greathorn, 3 and a green for a 3/4 beast creature with mutate for 2 and a green. Whenever this creature mutates, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Not bad, but not that great either. I think that Phoenix is one that I already have 2 of, so. But what do you expect when you roll the dice? By cracking a pack instead of buying singles. We got an 8/8 blue Kraken creature token. A Mosscoat Goriak, 2 and a green for a 2/4 beast creature with vigilance. Goriaks are as stubborn and hardy as I'd expect a large herbivore in a wetland habitat, but I never expected them to have such beautiful voices, says Vivian Reed. Dranith Stinger, 1 and a red for a 2/2 human wizard creature with whenever you cycle another card, Dranith Stinger deals 1 damage to each opponent. It has cycling 1, pay 1, discard this card, draw a card. The first line of defense and the last person you want to anger. Memory Leak costs 2 and a black for a sorcery. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from that player's graveyard or hand and exile it. Cycling 1, pay 1, discard this card, draw a card. By halves does youth depart. I remember halves of names, halves of years, halves of myself, says Olgaro, Wandering Sage. Heightened Reflexes costs a single red. This is the exact same order as the previous booster. I just want to point out. I feel like I'm going crazy. It's not important. Heightened Reflexes costs a single red. Instant. Target creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Put a first strike counter on it. Some crystals glow in the presence of monsters, forming a convenient warning system. Some monsters learn to outrun the light. Dire Tactics costs a white and a black instant. Exile target creature. If you don't control a human, you lose life equal to that creature's toughness. I will preserve human life at all costs. I will stand alone against behemoths before I let them touch my city. I will hold the wall. Oath of the Coppercoats. Trumpeting Gnar. 1 a green and a blue for a 3/3 beast creature with mutate for 3 and 2 blue-green hybrid. If you cast this spell for its mutate cost, put it over or under target non-human creature you own. They mutate into the creature on top plus all abilities from under it. Whenever this creature mutates, create a 3/3 green beast creature token. We got a forest. And we got Jirina Kudro. 1 of red, a white, and a black. Oh, this is a non-foil. Interesting. For a 3/3 human soldier legendary creature. When Jirina Kudro enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token for each time you've cast a commander from the command zone this game. Other humans you control get +2/+0. Strength is what keeps us alive. Compassion is what keeps us human. Cheville, Bane of Monsters. Costs a black and a green for a 1/3 human rogue creature with... Oh, I'm sorry. He's a legendary creature with Death Touch. At the beginning of your upkeep, if your opponents control no permanents with bounty counters on them, put a bounty counter on target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. Whenever a permanent an opponent controls with a bounty counter on it dies, you gain 3 life and draw a card. That's fun. Lutri, the Spell Chaser. 1 and 2 blue-red hybrids for a 3/2 elemental otter legendary creature with companion. Each non-land card in your starting deck has a different name. Flash. When Lutri the Spell Chaser enters the battlefield, if you cast it, copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. Cavern Whisperer. 4 and a black for a 4/4 nightmare creature with mutate for 3 and a black and menace. And whenever this creature mutates, each opponent discards a card. Insatiable Hemophage. 3 and a black for a 3/3 nightmare creature with mutate for 2 and a black. It has Death Touch, and whenever this creature mutates, each opponent loses X life, and you gain X life, where X is the number of times this creature has mutated. Brokos, Apex of Forever. 2 a black, a green, and a blue for a 6/6 Nightmare Beast Elemental legendary creature with mutate for 2, a blue-black hybrid, and 2 green. With it also has trample, and you may cast Brokos, Apex of Forever, from your graveyard using its mutate ability. I like the art. We got Dorat, the Perfect Pet. costs a blue and a red, right? Also known as Sprite Dragon. It is a 1/1 fairy dragon creature with flying and haste. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Sprite Dragon. I'm tilting it to see if it has foil, but it's not. I don't believe. Necropanther. 1 white and a black for a 3/3. A cat nightmare creature with mutate for 2 and 2 white-black hybrids. Whenever this creature mutates, return target creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. That was fun, but I already have those two. This is textbook why you buy singles. And you don't crack a bunch of packs for money. I'm still having a great time though. These are beautiful cards. And I did get a few foils that I can put in to other decks. Next pack, we got a 3/3 green beast creature token. And these tokens are beautiful. This is easily my favorite token. Plummet. 1 and a green for an instant. Destroy target creature with flying. Scavengers follow in Skysail's shadow, feasting on the carcasses of monsters that attacked the floating city. Raking Claws. 1 and a red, instant. Target creature gains double strike until end of turn. Cycling 2. Pay 2, discard this card. Draw a card. How many claws does a monster have? Exactly 1 more than you've accounted for, says Alex, Skysail Defender. Blister Spit Gremlin costs a single red for a 1/1 gremlin creature. Pay 1 and tap. Blister Spit Gremlin deals 1 damage to each opponent. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, untap Blister Spit Gremlin. Ah, we have a critic, says Ortheon, Lavabrink Captain. Mosscoat Goriak costs 2 and a green for a 2/4 beast creature with vigilance. Goriaks are as stubborn and hardy as I'd expect a large herbivore in a wetland habitat, but I never expected them to have such beautiful voices, said Vivian Reed. Chittering Harvester costs 5 and a black for a 4/6 nightmare creature with mutate for 4 and a black. If you cast this spell for its mutate cost, put it over or under target non-human creature you own. They mutate into the creature on top, plus all abilities from under it. Whenever this creature mutates, each opponent sacrifices a creature. Swallow Hole costs a single white. It's a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast this spell, tap an untapped creature you control. Exile target tapped creature. Put a +1/+1 counter on the creature tapped to pay this spell's additional cost. World's better with 1 fewer poacher in it, says Winota Heartbonder. And we got a mountain. And selective adaptation. 4 and 2 green for a sorcery with reveal the top 7 cards of your library. Choose from among them a card with flying, a card with first strike, and so on for double strike, death touch, haste, hexproof, indestructible, lifelink, menace, reach, trample, and vigilance. Put one of the chosen cards onto the battlefield and the other chosen cards into your hand, and the rest into your graveyard. Whoa. That could be very fun in a creature-heavy deck. Mythos of Snapdax. 2 and 2 white for sorcery. Each player chooses an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, and a planeswalker from among the non-land permanents they control, then sacrifices the rest. If black-white, black-red was spent to cast this spell, you choose the permanents for each player instead. Colossification. Oh, it's a foil. This just made the whole booster box worth it, in my opinion. Colossification. 5 and 2 green. Aura enchantment. Enchant creature. When Colossification enters the battlefield, tap enchanted creature. Enchanted creature gets +20/+20. Turns out, the case of the flattened outpost and the case of the missing kitten were related. This is Endress, Dranith Magistrate. Cavern Whisperer, 4 and a black for a 4/4 nightmare creature with mutate for 3 and a black, and menace. Whenever this creature mutates, each opponent discards a card. Are there only like a subset of the cards in this set have this fancy art? Because I'm seeing the same ones over and over. Parcel Beast, 2, a green, and a blue for a 2/4 elemental beast creature with mutate for a green and a blue. Pay 1 and tap. Look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, you may put it onto the battlefield. If you don't put the card onto the battlefield, put it into your hand. Gem Razor. 3 and a green for a 4/4 beast creature with mutate for 1 and 2 green. It has reach and trample. And whenever this creature mutates, destroy target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. We got Geigen, Cyberclaw, Terror. 4 and 2 blue, black hybrids for a 6/6 Demon Kraken legendary creature with Companion. Your starting deck contains only cards with even converted mana costs. When Garuda enters the battlefield, each player puts the top 4 cards of their library into their graveyard. Put a creature card with an even converted mana cost from among those cards onto the battlefield under your control. Wow. This one's foil. We got a Cloud Piercer. Costs 4 and a red for a 5/4 dinosaur creature with mutate for 3 and a red. It has reach, and whenever this creature mutates, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Cool. I've still got my fingers crossed for a Ghidorah, because I really don't want to buy one. I was joking when I said the foil Colossification would make the entire box worth it. What would make it worth it is a Ghidorah, because those are the colors that I like to play. Although I don't really think I'll be playing any mutate decks anytime soon, so. Alright, first up we got a star blue shark creature token with flying. Dead Weight costs a single black. It's an aura enchantment with enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets -2/-2. You're not my quarry, little one. I'm after whatever comes to investigate your cries, says Kelsian the Plague. Farfinder costs 3. It's a 1/1 fox creature with vigilance. When Farfinder enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Take us home, she whispered, and the fox's eyes began to glow. Crustacean costs 3 and a blue for a 1/6 crab creature with flying. It loves blending into its environment, ambushing prey, and long scuttles on the beach. It's gotta be one of my favorite cards from the set for the flavor. It's very silly. Ram through 1 and a green for an instant. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. If the creature you control has trample, excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead. Need a medic and some stonemasons, says Willen Draneth Merchant. Escape Protocol costs 1 and a blue for an enchantment. Whenever you cycle a card, you may pay 1. When you do, exile target artifact or creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. Sanctuaries harnessed the glowstone's natural reaction to the monsters to create a warning system. Titaneth Rex, 7 and 2 green for an 11/11 dinosaur beast creature with trample. Cycling for 1 and a green. Pay 1 and a green. Discard this card. Draw a card. When you cycle Titaneth Rex, put a trample counter on target creature you control. Are you supposed to reanimate this? Like, you're never gonna pay that. Anyway. And we got an island. And Crystalline Resonance, 2 and a blue enchantment. Whenever you cycle a card, you may have Crystalline Resonance become a copy of another target permanent until your next turn, except it has this ability. As a boulder diverts a stream, the crystals bend life around them, says Riel the Everwise. Quartzwood Crasher, 2 green, 2 red, and a green for a 6/6 dinosaur beast creature with trample. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control with trample deal combat damage to a player, create an XX green dinosaur beast creature token with trample, where X is the amount of damage those creatures dealt to that player. This seems like a very fun card. Titan's Nest. 1 black, a green, and a blue for an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. You may put that card into your graveyard. Exile a card from your graveyard. Add a colorless. Spend this mana only to cast a colored spell without X in its mana cost. Interesting. Volbegeat costs 3 and a white for a 2/3 foxbird creature with mutate for 2 and a white. It has flying. Whenever this creature mutates, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Auspicious Sterix, 4 and a green for a 6/6 elk beast creature with mutate for 5 and a green. Whenever this creature mutates, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile X permanent cards, where X is the number of times this creature is mutated. Put those permanents onto the battlefield. Whoa. We got a Everquill Phoenix, 2 and 2 red for a 4/4 Phoenix creature with mutate for 3 and a red. It has flying, and whenever this creature mutates, create a red artifact token named Feather with pay 1 and sacrifice Feather. Return target Phoenix card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Now I feel like Wizards is making fun of me. You saw that too, right? This actually happened. We got another Destroya Perfected Life Form. Costs 2 and 2 red. Also known as the card that we just pulled, Everquill Phoenix. It's a 4/4 Phoenix creature with mutate for 3 and a red. It has flying, and whenever this creature mutates, create a red artifact token named Feather with pay 1, sacrifice Feather, return target Phoenix card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. We got a Migratory Greathorn. Costs 3 and a green for a 3/4 beast creature with mutate for 2 and a green. Whenever this creature mutates, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. I think that's just kind of funny. I don't even know what to say about that. It's hilarious is what it is. We got a 1/1 dinosaur creature token with haste. Perimeter Sergeant costs 2 and a white for a 3/2 human soldier creature. Whenever Perimeter Sergeant attacks, other humans you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. Get in there, soldier. I want a pelt on my wall before lunch. Essence Symbiote, 1 and a green for a 2/2 beast creature. Whenever a creature you control mutates, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature and you gain 2 life. Ozolith's appearance spawned a new era of wild mutation on Ikoria. Some creatures hunted different prey, lived in new habitats, and thrived on mutation itself. Dranith Healer, 1 and a white for a 2/2 human cleric creature. Whenever you cycle another card, you gain 1 life. It has cycling 1, pay 1, discard this card, draw a card. The glowstones shine and dinosaurs roar to the south. Business will be brisk tonight. Spontaneous Flight costs 3 and a white, instant. Put a target creature, gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Put a flying counter on it. Amazing. And I was only trying to teach her to sit. Lore Dracus, 1 blue and a red for a 2/3 lizard beast creature with mutate for 2 blue-red hybrids. If you cast this spell for its mutate cost, put it over or under target non-human creature you own. They mutate into the creature on top, plus all abilities from under it. Whenever this creature mutates, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Reconnaissance Mission. 2 blue for an enchantment. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. Cycling 2, pay 2 and discard this card, draw a card. The Bonders work with creatures that fly, slink, and burrow. Assume they know everything, says Jirina Kudrow. We got a Plains. And a Sawtusk Demolisher. 4 and 2 green for a 6/6 beast creature with mutate for 3 and a green. If you cast this spell for its mutate cost, put it over or under target non-human creature you own. They mutate into the creature on top, plus all abilities from under it. Trample. Whenever this creature mutates, destroy target non-creature permanent. Its controller creates a 3/3 green beast creature token. Yorion, Sky Nomad. 3 and 2 white-blue hybrids for a 4/5 bird serpent legendary creature with companion. Your starting deck contains at least 20 cards more than the minimum deck size. It has flying, and when Yorion enters the battlefield, exile any number of other non-land permanents you own and control. Return those cards to the battlefield at the beginning of the next end step. Eerie Ultimatum. 2 white, 3 black, and 2 green for a sorcery. Return any number of permanent cards with different names from your graveyard to the battlefield. Necropanther. 1, a white, and a black for a 3/3 cat nightmare creature with mutate for 2 and 2 white-black hybrids. Whenever this creature mutates, return target creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Boneyard Lurker. 2, a black and a green for a 4/4 Nightmare Beast creature with mutate for 2 and 2 green-black hybrids. Whenever this creature mutates, return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Whoa. We got a fancy Vivian Monsters Advocate. 3 and 2 green for a Vivian Legendary Planeswalker. Comes in with 3 loyalty counters on it. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast creature spells from the top of your library. Her +1 is create a 3/3 green beast creature token. Put your choice of a vigilance counter or a reach counter or a trample counter on it. When you cast your next creature spell this turn, search your library for a creature card with lesser converted mana cost. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Oh, that was her -2. Cool. And we got King Caesar, Ancient Guardian, for a 3 and a white. You get a 3/4 cat creature. Oh, this is also known as Huntmaster Liger. It has mutate for 2 and a white. Whenever this creature mutates, other creatures you control get +X until end of turn, where X is the number of times this creature has mutated. That's a foil. Auspicious Sterix. 4 and a green for a 6/6 elk beast creature, with mutate for 5 and a green. Whenever this creature mutates, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile X permanent cards, where X is the number of times this creature has mutated. Put those permanent cards onto the battlefield. I feel like they only have like 20 or 30 of these fancy arts. So that Vivian card is quite nice. And our last booster pack for this part of the video. Starts with a 1/1 cat creature token with lifelink. That's cute. Dead Weight for a single black. It's an aura enchantment with enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets -2/-2. You're not my quarry, little one. I'm after whatever comes to investigate your cries. Farfinder costs 3. It's a 1/1 fox creature with vigilance. When Farfinder enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Take us home, she whispered, and the fox's eyes began to glow. Crustacean, 3 and a blue, or a 1/6 crab creature with flash. It loves blending into its environment, ambushing prey, and long scuttles on the beach. We all saw that. But we're not going to acknowledge it. Ram through costs 1 and a green. Instant. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. If the creature you control has trample, excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead. Need a medic and some stonemasons, says Willen, Dranith Merchant. Regal Leosaur costs a red and a white for a 2/2 dinosaur cat creature with mutate for 1 and 2 red-white hybrids. If you cast the spell for its mutate cost, put it over or under target non-human creature you own. They mutate into the creature on top, plus all abilities from under it. Whenever this creature mutates, other creatures you control get +2/+1 until end of turn. Boon of the Wishgiver. 4 and 2 blue. Sorcery. Draw 4 cards. Cycling 1. Pay 1, discard this card, draw a card. There is no law of nature I have not seen Illuna break. Makes you wonder what is truly possible, does it not? Says Riel, the Everwise. Stuck to my hand. We got a forest. We got a Bonder's Ornament. Costs 3. It's an artifact. Tap to add 1 mana of any color. Pay 4 and tap. Each player who controls a permanent named Bonder's Ornament draws a card. Found families deserve a family crest too, says Kinnan, Bonder Prodigy. Death's Oasis costs a white, a black, and a green. Enchantment. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. Then return a creature card with lesser converted mana cost than the creature that died from your graveyard to your hand. Pay 1 and sacrifice Death's Oasis. You gain life equal to the greatest converted mana cost among creatures you control. Now they're just messing with me. Death's Oasis. This time it's a foil and not a full art or extended art or whatever they call it. Oh, that's a lot of reading. I'm just gonna move on because I literally just read that. Migratory Greathorn. 3 and a green for a 3/4 beast creature with mutate for 2 and a green. Whenever this creature mutates, search your library for a basic land card. Put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Regal Leosaur. Costs a red and a white for a 2/2 dinosaur cat creature with mutate for 1 and 2 red-white hybrids. Whenever this creature mutates, other creatures you control get +2/+1 until end of turn. Gem Razor. 3 and a green for a 4/4 beast creature with mutate for 1 and 2 green. It has reach and trample. And whenever this creature mutates, destroy target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. We got Godzilla Doom Inevitable. 5 and 2 red for an 8/8 dinosaur turtle legendary creature, also known as Yadaro Wandering Monster. It has trample and haste, and cycling for 1 and a red. When you cycle Yadaro Wandering Monster, shuffle it into your library from your graveyard. If you've cycled a card named Yadaro Wandering Monster 4 or more times this game, put it onto the battlefield from your graveyard instead. And we got Cavern Whisperer. 4 and a black for a 4/4 nightmare creature. Mutate for 3 and a black. And it has menace. And whenever this creature mutates, each opponent discards a card. Alright. I'd say that was a pretty underwhelming half of this booster box. Hopefully the next half makes up for it, or I'm going to be a little sad. But also, this was a fun experience. So thanks for watching.